From the outside, Ben Shephard's life looks almost perfect. The bright studio lights, the confident smile, the effortless charm on television. It all paints a picture of someone who has everything figured out. For years, viewers have welcomed him into their homes, seeing him as the calm, friendly face who makes mornings feel lighter. But life, as many people discover, is rarely as simple as it appears on screen. At 51, Ben found himself standing at a quiet crossroads, not in front of cameras, not surrounded by applause, but alone with his thoughts. It wasn't one dramatic moment that changed everything. It was something quieter, slower, the kind of feeling many people experience but rarely talk about. It was the weight of always being on. For decades, Ben had built a career on energy and positivity. Early mornings, long filming days, constant preparation. It became his normal. He loved his job, loved the people he worked with, and felt grateful for every opportunity. But over time, the pace of everything began to blur together. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and somewhere in that busy schedule, he realized something surprising. He hadn't paused in a very long time. Not because anything terrible had happened, but because life had simply been moving too fast. At home, things felt different, quieter, more reflective. Watching his family grow, seeing time move forward, he started asking himself the same question many people face in their 50s. It's not a sad question, it's a human one. There's a strange pressure that comes with being known for being upbeat. People expect you to always have energy, always have the right words, always smile. But even the most positive people need space to breathe, to be still, to feel uncertain without having to hide it. Ben's hidden struggle wasn't about scandal or shocking secrets. It was about balance, about realizing that success means little if you never slow down long enough to experience the life you worked so hard to build. Friends noticed small changes. He became more thoughtful, less rushed. He started protecting his time more carefully, saying no sometimes, which had never been easy for him. He made room for things that don't make headlines: walks, quiet evenings, long conversations, moments without phones or schedules. And something shifted. The pressure didn't disappear. Television is still fast, work is still demanding, but his relationship with it changed. Instead of chasing every opportunity, he began choosing the ones that truly mattered. That's not weakness, that's growth. Many fans see public figures as people who live without doubt, but the truth is often the opposite. The higher someone climbs, the harder it can be to hear your own thoughts over the noise. Turning 51 didn't bring crisis, it brought clarity. Ben realized that life isn't just about showing up for the camera, it's about showing up for yourself, for family, for the moments that don't trend online. And ironically, that quiet internal shift made him stronger, calmer, and even more present in his work. Viewers might not know exactly what changed, but they can feel it. A steadiness, a warmth that comes from someone who has taken the time to realign with what matters most. Sometimes the biggest battles aren't dramatic. They're the silent decisions we make, to rest, to reflect, to grow. Ben's journey at 51 is a reminder that you don't need a public crisis to make a private change. You don't have to break down to slow down. And it's never too late to choose a healthier rhythm for your life. The smile people see on screen now, it's not just professional. It's someone who learned that taking care of your own well-being isn't stepping back, it's stepping forward in a better direction. As the months passed, the changes Ben made didn't just stay inside his head. They began to shape the way he lived each day. Mornings used to start with urgency: alarm, emails, schedules, rushing out the door. Now he tried something different. Even 10 quiet minutes with a cup of tea, no screens, no noise, just stillness. It sounds small, almost unimportant, but those few minutes became an anchor in days that once felt like a blur. He started noticing things he used to overlook: the sound of laughter in another room, the way the evening light filled the house,
the feeling of not needing to check his phone every second. Success had once meant momentum. Now it also meant presence. People around him felt it too. Conversations became deeper, less distracted. He wasn't half listening while thinking about the next task. He was there. And that presence created a calm that spread beyond him. Work didn't stop being demanding. Live television is unpredictable. Schedules still changed at the last minute. But instead of carrying the pressure home, he learned to leave some of it at the studio door. Not perfectly, not every day, but better than before. One realization stayed with him. Building a life, not just a resume. That balance didn't happen overnight. There were days he slipped back into old habits, saying yes too quickly, pushing through tiredness, forgetting to pause. But now he recognized the signs. And recognition is powerful. It gives you the chance to choose differently next time. Turning 51 didn't make him feel older. It made him feel more aware. Aware that time moves quietly. Aware that energy is something you protect. Aware that being strong doesn't mean never slowing down. There's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are beyond your job title. And that's what this chapter of his life brought him. Not a dramatic reinvention, just a gentle recalibration. Fans might never know the details. They'll just see the familiar face on screen, the easy smile, the steady voice. But behind that is someone who has learned an important truth many people don't discover until much later. Life isn't always about the moments everyone sees. It's about the ones you make space for when no one is watching. And maybe that's the real story of 51. Not struggle, not sadness, but the courage to slow down in a world that never stops moving.